Oh, hello friends. I am back with my series of impressive people, story of impressive people on the platform of Igniting Power Engineers. Legends are ordinary people with extraordinary way of thinking, way of working and looking at the problem. They have knowledge and they are always ready to share that knowledge with the society. And for legends, nations come first and they have never give up attitude and finally they want to back to the society or the world they are living in. In the series of SIP, this is my 12th series of SIP, and I am very happy and honored that respected Baldev Raj Narang sir has finally accepted my invitation and he is with me. He is a person with over 45 years experience in the large public sectors and private organization. He's a person with international exposure of working with large EPC contractors, consultants, clients, and manufacturers, who has published several technical articles and who has given technical presentation to industry professionals, students, and faculty. And he's running a very good blog by name Power Play on Power Quality. And presently he's working as a chief executive officer with Clarion Power System Limited. And it's a matter of honor that he's the chairman of capacity and the power quality divisions of IMA. Apart from that, he also represents as a member of ETD01 of BIS, responsible for formulating the power quality standard in India. He's also a member of Working Group 11 of ITC TC08 on power quality, prepares and recommends guidelines for IC power quality norms. The list is quite long. He is the product of Delhi College of Engineering, very renowned college so far engineering system is concerned. And without wasting much time, I would like to invite the legend, respected Honorable Baldev Raj Narang ji on the platform. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the platform.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajesh.
And first of all, I would like to request you to please tell me in brief about your journey of entering into the power sector.
I did my BSc Engineering in 1975 from Delhi College of Engineering, and I was lucky to get my first job at a very good organization, which I now find that it was one of the best decisions I could have taken. It was Bongaigaon Refinery and Petrochemicals Limited. Okay. It was a new integrated project, refinery and petrochemicals, set up by Government of India. And it was the first of its kind, having both refinery and petrochemical in one complex.
Okay.
Then it was the first job for Engineers India Limited also. So they started with this thing in refinery sector, and now they are one of the leaders in the world today.
Wow. Wow.
This was their first job. And I was taken as a graduate engineer training. And we were given 18 months of rigorous training outside because our systems were not in place. It was even the civil jobs were still in progress. There was nothing electrical there. And I got my training at Neyveli Lignite Corporation. That is the first induction into power sector. They had a 600 megawatt super thermal station at that time. And I took training in thermal station. I took in fertilizer plant, meter testing lab, meter and relay testing lab, and all those things. So it was a very good 6 months training, and maximum things I learned from there.
Great.
So very organized company. Then another 6 months I had at Bharat Refineries Limited in Mahul. So that also was a very good experience. But by that time, then our activities started, and I was shifted to site. Okay. And right from the first day I was there, when the job started, I was in fact loaned to Engineers India Limited as their engineer. I worked with their team.
Okay.
For installation, testing, commissioning, everything. Right from the scratch we started, and it was one of the best training I could have thought of.
Great, sir. Great.
So this is how, and we had in our refinery and petrochemical complex, our own captive power plant, 16 megawatt, connected at 132 kV to the grid. And then we had our own infrastructure for refinery. It was a big refinery unit. We had CDU, KTU, we had DCU, all those plants we had in the refinery complex, and we had petrochemicals also, which came later on after some time. So that was one of the best experience I could get. And one more thing I would like to mention here before I proceed to other thing, we had a very good managing director. He was picked up from Holland by Government of India, Shell Group, and he was asked to set up this refinery because India had no experience of putting up their own refineries at that time, at that scale. And it was a fiat in itself that he got this job done with all fresh engineers.
Great.
We were 70 people, fresh, not even 1 year experience mainly. And we were given the responsibility. He was directly supervising us. He was a chemical engineer, but he knew everything about every engineering field. And he used to say that all branches of engineering are same. Differences are only historical.
Great thought. Great thought.
And we did not have any middle level. We were directly reporting to him.
Wow.
And the refinery was successfully commissioned by him.
Great.
That was one of the big things. I don't think there is any example of such thing in even abroad.
I think I have heard that story very first time. Without middleman, success story of any implementation of any projects. Very great.
And all these 70 people who continued there, many of them retired as managing director.
Wow.
Who left them also went on to occupy the top positions in many companies. In fact, Reliance, maximum people joined Reliance because that was the only place where they could get the people for having experience.
That means finally
our managing director, our Mr. Managing Director, Mr. S.R. Setlu, he is also still a director in Reliance.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And his age is still very active and all. So that's what I thought I should share, because he's the person who not only gave chance to the people like me, but all the 70 people were very happy with that.
Great. It is basically become the stories of 70 impressive people. And now coming to my very important question, sir, what is your view on the power sector in India? Because
Okay, I'll give my views. But before going to that, I'll just mention about another major company where I worked. After 8 years, I left Century Anka. I left this Bongaigaon Refineries and Petrochemical. Now it is with IOC, Indian Oil Corporation. And I joined Century Anka. Century Anka is again a BK Birla Group company with AXO International collaboration. And here also we have systems in place. We had our own captive generation, and we had up to 220 kV. In fact, 220 kV level came for the first time in Pune, and we were the people who brought it because we were facing problems in 22 kV level. There used to be voltage dips and plant trippings and heavy losses, and restarting was an issue and all those things. And we then shifted to 220 kV, made our own lines. We bought lines from about 9 kilometers or more. 7 towers we erected, our company. We took a place adjoining. We put the plant, 220 kV switchyard, handed over to MSCB and all. So that was a major interaction for power sector there.
Sir, did you get any problems getting the ROW for the towers you were installing for that transmission line? Because usually there were issues.
There were issues, but luckily there was not much of construction on the way. So it was easily available. It was passing through MIDC area and sufficient space. It was well planned area, and we could put those things. So that is what I thought I should share. And we had a continuous process plant. Power was so important that even a voltage dip used to cause heavy loss. So that is why we had shifted to 220 kV.
Great.
So and then we had our own polymerization, polycondensation, nylon plant, polyester plant, tire yarn, everything was there. This was one of the first integrated plant having all these things, even engineering, plastics, or all those things. So there I worked for 10 years, and then this was the main job, and now I am with Clarion Power System Limited, which maybe we will also discuss during the course. Now, coming to your next question, you said about the power sector.
Yeah, power sector scenario in India.
Power sector, I have some my own personal views on that. Maybe they may not be matching with the general maybe engineers or other people. First of all, I'll say that we are doing great in power sector today because the central government policies are far-sighted. They have views up to 2030 for green power, minimizing the footprint of carbon and all those things. And they have energy storage policy in place now. They have hydrogen policy. So many things are happening, and they have a lot of investment for the utility sector. They have schemes like Uday and all, and they are financing it greatly. And so there is a lot of development taking place, particularly in renewable power. There is good development. We have today about 12% share, which is likely to become 36% in another maybe 8 years or so. And it's picking up like anything. And this is, you can say, the positive side of what we say power sector. So now I come to the other side, which is something which I have a lot of concerns about it. And that is the power sector is, it was a lot of reforms were done earlier. The generation, transmission, distribution, they were split, and management was improved to a great extent. And at least we knew where the problem lies actually. So generation, transmission, I don't think we have much issues. The discom sector is the one which is a pain point, and that is creating a lot of problems. Today, it has outstanding dues of more than 1,600 billion. And there is a lot of inefficiency. There is a lot of unprofessionalism, and things are not in good shape there. So that is a sector where we need to do some big reforms. Second phase of reforms are required because this much of outstandings, even banks are still ready to give them loans and complicate the situation further. And if it happens, and if it goes into a full-blown crisis, it will have impact on FDI, it will have impact on economy. It can result into a total collapse of the system, financial sector. Many banking sectors, maybe they may have some issues, big issues. So that is one thing. And the inefficiency regarding asset, I have some personal opinion about their inefficiency. I heard your lecture also at IMA on transformer. You talked about distribution transformer failures. So these distribution transformer failures, you also pointed out that one of the reason is power quality, the harmonics are there. But if you see their history, you will not find a single incidence saying that the failure was due to power quality. So they just have the analysis of superficial reasons, which are not the core issues, which are only the consequence of the core issues.
Right.
And this solution to this problem is very simple. And not only simple, it is, they don't need any investment. They will generate revenue if they solve this problem.
Can you elaborate on that solution?
Yes, yes. The thing is, generation, transmission, distribution, they are all very clean processes. There is no power quality issue. By power quality, I mean mainly the harmonics issues, because this is permanent in the system. All issues are transient. They can be solved, and there is a mechanism, and everybody is aware of that, and there is a lot of stability in that aspect, and not much of issues on that front. But regarding this power quality, they have their own system very clean. They don't generate any harmonics. It is generated by the consumers.
Yes,
who
it
are
is under
pumping
load
these
at
harmonics. Yes, so they are pumping those harmonics back into the grid.
True.
And that harmonics, the whole burden is taken by their transformers only. And ultimately they fail. I have seen personally myself many transformers failing. And reason is never given as power quality issue. And if they want to solve this problem, it is so simple that they have to only revise the tariff structures. They have to stop people pumping harmonics into the grid. We have already guidelines by CERC. But states, only Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu, they have implemented.
Tamil Nadu has come up with that regulation.
Yes, Tamil Nadu came up first with the regulations, putting penalties, 15% penalties on the power bill if the harmonics are beyond IEEE 519 norms. And the Maharashtra has come up with much better and much, you can say, exhaustive solution. And they are the second, you can say, utility. All other utilities, they have done nothing about it. These people who are generating harmonics, another problem which is creating issues is that there are incentives on power factor. The incentives means everybody is maintaining unity power factor. Not only unity, people are maintaining above unity. They are having into leading side just to see that they don't lose the incentive. Because there is no mechanism except now in Maharashtra to check the leading power factor. Leading power factor is very, very dangerous, and it is creating the problems, over voltage, as well as the failures, the other instability, and everything is coming because of the.
Sir, I feel we have smart meter already installed in our power system. We can use that smart meter to capture the leading power factor also at the load level.
That is what Maharashtra has done. They replaced all the meters, all industries, they replaced the meters with the new meters which have the capability of measuring leading power factor and controlling it.
Okay.
So this has not been done by any other utility so far. So everybody is using capacitors indiscriminately, more than what they need. Many times it is more than double of what they need. When Maharashtra started this thing, I have one electricity bill because many people approached us to immediately get the solutions. They were getting 100% penalty, you can say incentive. 7% was the maximum incentive they were getting. When this regulation came that leading power factor will not be allowed, their penalty was 35%. Instead of 7% incentive, they had to pay 35% to the grid. So everybody is having this, you can say, nuisance basically. And this is being tolerated by utilities. If they just start monitoring it properly, they will get a lot of revenue by way of the power, this unnecessary incentives, whatever they are giving, they will all go away. Because everybody is recording 100% kVH, KW and KWH and kVH. If you find most of the places, it is same, just because the leading is ignored.
Yes.
So once they put that, even if you have 9.5 leading, 0.95 or 0.95 lagging, you will lose 5% in the bill. And all that will go to the utility only. People will improve their system. They will gain themselves also, as well as they will benefit the utilities.
I have one.
Harmonics also. Yes. Have you asked something?
Yes, I feel there is very good proverb, nip something in the bud. If we can control harmonic generation by load, that electronics devices we are using at home, and we make some norms so that they should have some provision to filter out harmonics generated by their gadgets. Can we do that thing?
Yes, there is a mechanism available. Harmonics can be controlled. There we have passive solutions, we have active solutions, we have hybrid solutions. Everything is there. It is a well-developed field. India has full capability of doing it, but there is no mechanism. There is no regulation. There is, because people will not invest. It is not a field where if, by investing they will get any payback. The payback is zero. The losses, whatever is reduced by removing the harmonics, are negligible. Sometimes they may be more self-consumption of these units than the losses reduction. So they have no incentive to do it. Unless there is a regulation, unless there are penalties, nobody will improve it. And it is not that consumers are getting benefit of not removing it. They are also having failures within their system. But they are not investing. They are living with the problem.
Policy to be adopted.
So this is the lack of central government came out. The CERC regulations were defined in 2019. So, but these have to be adopted by the states. That has not been done. And these people are so inefficient, they don't even approach regulatory commissions that we need this thing. Wherever they have put KVH billing, they have this. They should have solved some of the problem. At least capacitor, they amplify the harmonics. That could have gone back. People will use proper, at least capacitors which are required only, not more than that. Here, people are using capacitors more than required. They are using without reactors. they are amplifying 10%, harmonics become 20%, and it goes back to the grid. It causes voltage distortion, comes back again to all customers, all consumers.
Apart from that, resonance problem may also happen, as you expressed.
Resonance is a further complication.
Yes.
Resonance means if you have the inductive reactance and capacitive reactance of the system matching each other,
yes,
the parallel resonance takes place, and this is like a short circuit.
Short circuit, you are right.
So it can have a lot of damaging effect, and that is happening at most of the places. We have part or full resonance at many places. People continue to live with that also.
Now,
they just keep on replacing. Capacitor is the first item which fails. I'll just complete this thing. The capacitor is the first item. They keep on replacing capacitors, but they will not go for the solutions proper. Now you come out with your questions.
Okay. Now I would like to know about your role as a CEO in your parent company as a CEO of Clarion Power System Limited. What actually your company is doing in the field of power quality?
Yes. We are into power quality and reactive power management.
Okay.
And we have operations in India. We have operations overseas. And this is our core domain and only domain where we work. And we have all types of solutions. 100% basket is available with us. And we have a reach in all sectors, means whether it is steel, cement, and oil, or tire sector, everywhere we have the solutions. And we come across a lot of issues, very complicated issues, and we are giving very, you can say, clear, easy, and solutions which can be verified.
Okay. Sir, do you have any solution for the domestic sector? Suppose I want to install some, I want to improve power quality of harmonics generated by my own gadgets. Can I do something at my own end?
You can definitely do it. And only thing is for small domestic individual, although the domestic load also is totally non-linear today.
Yes, that's why
we have CFL lamps. We have those what we call
charger, different charger gadgets, laptop,
LEDs, and
LED, microwave.
So we have all non-linear load today. We have variable frequency drives even in our gadgets, kitchen gadgets, and everywhere. Even the fridge is coming with the variable VFD only.
Yes.
So we have all these problems even at house, and maybe at collectively they also become very major thing. But at individual level, solution, the big, you can say, houses, they definitely like a commercial installation, so they can have better, bigger solutions. But individually, you have to see that the gadget itself is having some self-built-in system which doesn't generate a harmonic, because they are the right people to do it in the most cost-effective way.
Okay.
By you putting will not sort of be feasible economically as well as maybe technically also. It is not that easy of thing.
Now, time to know about your role as a chairman of the capacitor and the power quality division.
Regarding, I did not complete about the first Clarion power system.
Okay.
So here we have a you can say a very well dedicated team, a young team, highly skilled, highly trained, and we have very good service support. All the people, they have capabilities of handling anything, right from manufacturing to servicing to installation, testing, commissioning, designing, everything, because all are tasking we are doing, our people, and they are mostly, again, here we have taken fresh people, not any baggage with them, so they are very enthusiastic and they get trained, and they are well qualified also. And our CMD himself also is a technocrat. So we have a very good working culture here. And and we have 90% of our clients are repeat clients based on our service and our performance and things like that. And then we have recently acquired one of the oldest capacitor manufacturing units, Madhav Capacitors. So with this, and my major job is to see that we have a business growth and we have people trained properly. And I joined about 8 years ago, and our operations by this coming running financial year end could be 10 times of what they were when I joined.
Wow.
So this is the type, we are the fastest growing, we are a very respected company in the field. with our clients, not only with clients, but also with our competitors.
Great, great.
So
great.
this is our Clarion systems. I just wanted to say something. And then you said about the IMA.
Your role as a
of
chairman
IMA.
with the CAP,
Hmm?
Power Quality Divisions, Capacity and Power Quality Divisions of IMA.
So capacitor and power quality division, they are related subjects. People try to separate them, but they are inseparable because capacitors are one of the major cause of power quality distortion because they amplify. They don't generate any harmonics, but they amplify the harmonics. So and we added earlier it was only capacitor division, but then we thought it proper to expand it as a capacitors and power quality division. And our job is to coordinate with central agencies like CRC, CA, ministries,
Okay.
BIS, testing houses, and we try to find even the regulatory commissions at state level as well as at national level. And then our job is that we work towards the improvement of power quality. And all the stakeholders, we remain in touch and we work on every front on that. And we interact with all these agencies to see that the proper things are in place, the standards are in place, the implementation is there, enforcement is there. All those things we try to see in this.
Okay, okay. With your permission, I want to know about your role as a member in the BS ETD01, responsible for melting PQ standard in India.
Right. So that I'll come to that. But before I go to that, there is when we have this IMA, our all manufacturing and fraternity is there in that group. Most of the things we do as a IMA body, but there are instances when we have done it as a group also, not on the IMA not as an IMA platform, because there was a gadget notification affecting capacitors and power quality division, and the government came out with the notification saying that we have to have BIS marking for the capacitors. They did absolutely zero homework. The this quality control order which came, it was not implementable. IMA is a body where we don't want to confront the government. So we as industry, almost everybody, we went to court and we got the stay.
Okay.
And it took 2 years to get the things in place. And now after that incident, the government is very careful. They, before implementing, they put up the study groups, they analyze the thing, they see workability, then only they are coming out with that. But we were the first agency which challenged that decision and we got the things right. Now, this is about the IMA I wanted to complete before I went. Now you are asking about the BIS.
Yeah.
BIS, I have attended just one major meeting so far.
Okay.
And there I expressed my views. We had discussions on the standards, what we are formulating and in the process of, you can say, finalization. And here I'm trying to contribute whatever best I can do. But here also I am having my own agenda as well, because there are certain things, as you mentioned about the resonance. There is nothing in the standards to define this phenomenon and to control it. So it can be definitely done so that this is also taken care by the standards also. So one of my agenda here is that I should push forward this particular aspect.
Great, great. Now you are also doing your role in working group 11 of IC TC08 of power quality. How do you differentiate between BIS and IEC? Do you
This is an extension. No, this is an extension of BIS only. I was nominated through BIS.
Okay.
In that committee.
Okay.
BIS, because every country has a representation in that.
Okay.
And then IEC is mainly dominated by China. So the meetings are held there. All the main office bearers are there only. So we have the meetings as per their timing and all those things. So there also, I have just attended one formal meeting, and there also the same thing, same agenda in international level also. I'll be trying to push forward this particular aspect of the power quality. Other things are in place. Basically, everything is known. This is something which is not well understood and not controlled at all.
True, very true. Now, I would like to know about your view on the power quality issues and solution in India. We have
Okay.
talked about power system. Now I am coming to your favorite topic, power quality and solutions.
Okay.
What are the major issues and how to go with the solutions of that problem?
Before I come to the details of this topic, I'll just say that power quality situation in India and the rest of the world. We are very, very progressive, very forward looking as far as the efficiency is concerned, as far as the full utilization is concerned. We are better than any other country in the world today. And everybody maintains a unity power factor. That is one of the, you can say, criteria. But that has the negative impact also, as I said earlier. Also, these capacitors, if they are not used with caution, if they are not used with the reactors, they create havoc. And that is what is happening. The power quality is being spoiled by excessive, indiscriminate use of capacitors. It is getting amplified.
To use automatic capacitor bank.
Automation is only to switch on and switch off whatever is required. Suppose we have 1000 kVR, sometimes we may need 500, sometimes we may need 200. So that only controls the, as per the load condition, how much capacitors we are putting into the system or we need to put in the system. What I'm talking is if the capacitors are not used with the reactors, with the tuning reactor.
So with tuning reactor you are talking about.
So they cause resonance and they cause amplification of the existing harmonics. They don't create harmonics, but their non-linear load today is 70% of the total load. So that all that non-linear load is generating harmonics, and those harmonics are to some extent available, say 10% or 15%, depending upon the installation and all. But if we use capacitors indiscriminately, that trend becomes 20 and that goes back to the grid. So this is the power quality issue. We have to solve it at two levels. One is that we have to have solutions. We have very well-designed solutions. Everybody's India is fully capable of giving the solutions to India as well as overseas. We are also working overseas as well. So we can solve it with passive capacitor and reactor banks. These reactors, when they are used with the capacitors, they not only avoid amplification, but they also do some mitigation. Okay. And this mitigation, again, depending upon the quality or the capability of the supplier, the manufacturer, it can be increased to any extent.
But I feel
many places we are giving
aware about the use of capacitor bank. We generally talk about capacitor. We don't talk about that reactor to be used along with that capacitor. I think that part is missing somewhere.
That comes only with the regulations, because nobody will put or nobody will spend any amount unless it is either mandatory or it is not allowing him to run the plant. So wherever the people have problems, the big industries where they are professionally working and they don't want to have any nuisance, trippings and failures and things like that, they do it, whether regulations or no regulations, they are doing it. But majority of the people, they don't do anything unless there are enforcements. So this has to come from the utility has to take the initiative. Due to their inefficiency, they are not doing it. Maybe there are pressures from the industrial groups because they think they may have to pay penalties, bills will increase and all those things. Although they don't understand that it will benefit them also in the long run, but that they don't take into account. They take only the immediate expenditure they have to spend on that. True. And these people go to the political bosses and then they also come and there is a lot of interference. So this is not happening. So even let it stop at any level, but they don't initiate. The utilities people are not even initiating the things.
True. True. Can we?
Because they need approval of regulatory commissions. This cannot be implemented just by utilities. They have to justify there. They have to make a case out of it. But that is what they are neither studying nor they are doing it. And in fact, they are not even aware that they have failures for this. The transformers, as you said, the failures are happening in big scale, but they think it is not due to harmonics.
True.
But all other reasons are identifiable. They have solutions. They have protections available, and if they work properly, there is no problem. Nothing will fail. This is the only thing which is unprotected.
Now, I would like to talk on the very important and the painful area so far this power sector and general public is concerned: fire due to electrical system. What your view and how we can stop it? Why don't we learn from our past experiences and we are ready for, we wait for another accident to occur? What your view on that?
Hanif, this electrical fires is a very painful thing. Everybody gets upset after we see the people dying. And I had written one article on this particular issue 1 year ago. And that was after I had seen one fire during COVID time in one of the Mumbai
Hospital.
area hospital,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
many people had died there. So there are again, we know that the general things everybody is aware that cable sizing should be proper, the short circuit fuses should be available, there should not be any loose connections, and so earthing should be proper. So all these things are, and protections wherever they are, they should be implemented. So if people are not doing it, definitely there will be problem. But these are certain things which are known to the people. Even if you take a good electrician, he will take care of all these things. So we don't need much of a big engineering to see that these problems are not there because of these simple reasons. The problem comes because of a reason which is unknown and which is very much real. These commercial installations, the malls, hospitals, hotels, multiplexes and all, they are big consumers of electricity. They are bulk consumers, like industries. And the problems are in no way less than what we have in industries. In fact, they are more in this place because they have additional problems of unbalance.
Okay.
That unbalanced current goes to the neutral. And we use 3.5 cable core. And the neutral current here, maybe with just unbalance, it is okay to some extent. But when we have third harmonics, because there also we have all nonlinear loads. So these all nonlinear loads, they are generating triplen harmonics, third, ninth, and all. So these harmonics also are zero sequence harmonics, and they flow through the neutral. They find their path through the neutral only. So along with unbalance, these harmonic currents, third harmonic currents, triplen harmonic currents, they also flow through the neutral. And the neutral current could be more than double of the phase current. And this is a very real thing.
Okay.
And the neutral has to be strengthened. In IT sector, you will find people use 5-core cables because neutral has to be very strong. Suppose we have taken care of the harmonics, but it may be not sufficient, or maybe sometimes the systems are not in place properly and they are not working. So neutral strengthening has to be done invariably, whether harmonics are there or they are not there. But in general, all these installations, we go conventional only. Here also they need 5-core cables. They don't need standard 3.5 core.
True.
Because the neutral will catch fire first. Suppose you have a neutral wire which is taking maybe 3-4 times of the rated current, its capacity, it definitely has to burn.
I'm sure
so this is
with your advice, the many utility will wake up. It's a kind of wake up call, and many youth, many other engineers will get the benefit of your advice. And I will try my level best for my own utility to get it done. Very, very, very good advice.
One more thing. This is the one problem which I mentioned. The other problem is we are having those incentives on power factor. So here people are using capacitors to improve power factor. Again here, the capacitors are also two types. One is self-protecting, one is conventional, old design, which nobody uses elsewhere except we are using in India. And there is a big insistence on using that in India because it is similar to like we are having a fuse wire. And suppose fuse wire blows, we put a thick wire on that and we just bypass it. Using that outdated capacitor is just like using a thick wire as a fuse. Big, that APP type capacitor we call them. If we are using that, we are avoiding, because resonance occurs everywhere. Somewhere or the other, the resonances are there. And this resonance is very luckily a self-correcting phenomenon. We don't need any protection outside also many times. But for that, the fuse, the capacitor has to take that burden. All that heavy current will flow through the capacitor first. Capacitor will act like a fuse and it should blow. It should fail. so that once it fails, the system comes out of resonance and it is safe. But
Okay.
what we do is we don't allow it to fail. We want a capacitor without any self-protection, and we want to use it as a thick, you can say, wire as a fuse, and we want it to continue to run. The system keeps on running with the resonance, and ultimately it can lead to a very big major accident. And we have solutions in normal high voltage. In low voltage, this is a major problem. High voltage, we have unbalanced protection. Unbalance means suppose there is a failure of capacitor taking place, unbalance is taking place, it is a cascading phenomenon, it can again result into a fire or something. But again, we have a protection which trips that total capacitor, and system is same. But in LT installations, we need the capacitor itself to fail. We don't need any extra, because there we use APP capacitor. Still, there is no alternative to that APP in medium voltage. But low voltage, we have the systems available, and nobody else except in India uses those capacitors.
Great.
So
Great
that is another
advice.
major issue.
Okay, very, very fruitful advice. Now coming to the last point, what is your piece of advice for the youth to grow and glow in their life?
Okay. So this here, I have some personal and specific opinion. I'm not giving any general, you can say, lecture or advice or anything. A general thing is that I advise people, because I'm from technical, so I will touch upon people who are taking this field, technical field. So what they should do is, they should not jump into this technical field after 10th.
Okay.
As a diploma. They should complete their either higher secondary 11th or 10+2 or something, and then they should go to the field. There is a big difference in jumping from 10th and jumping from 11th or 12th, because the development is maximum taking place after that only.
True.
And they, from the lifetime, they are never, even if they do degree after diploma, their level never increases. The basic level of communication, basic level of intelligence, basic level of what we learned during that phase is missing. And minimum education is required for entering into the industry. So that minimum education, I feel 10th is not the right education. It should be 11th or 12th. So that is one thing which I will advise to the people. They should take that. And another thing I'll advise is that if they are interested in research, so they should go for post-graduation.
Okay.
They're further interested in research, they can go to doctorate also. But if they want to do a job only in a normal industry, so these are certain, it is a sort of disqualification basically. It doesn't help at all. It becomes a liability basically, in fact. In our earlier company, as I mentioned, first company, our MD had a policy not to take any postgraduates. He says if they have done post-graduation, if they have done doctorate, why they should want to come here? They should go to the research. And India, we don't have R&D available much. So there, if somebody is really interested, the advice is go somewhere where the research facilities are available. And maybe again, come back and do the service to India. That is another thing. So this is something very specific I thought I should share with the people. And first job is very important. Another one more thing. The people should be very, very particular about the first job. So if they have the first job proper, they will grow like anything. And if first job they are lacking, they should choose a company where they will get chance to work with their own hands. And if they are not getting that, if they lose that first 1 or 2 years, they will never be able to catch up in their lifetime at all. Because later on, they will be embarrassed to ask anything. People will think they already have experience. So it becomes a phenomenon where you stop your learning process.
True.
So the first job is very, very important to grow and to get the right experience. There are a lot of opportunities. Take any job, but take something which is giving you the chance to work.
Thank you.
And you can grow later on. You can change the jobs, and there are a lot of opportunities otherwise available. So these are 2-3 specific advices I had.
And with that, I would like to say thank you very much again for sparing your valuable time. And now time has come to say thank you very much once again for accepting my invitation. And we could have a good talk on very different topic of power quality. That is, we usually don't talk here in India about that one. And thank you, sir. Thank you very much for accepting my invitation. And that was a wonderful talk. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you for giving me opportunity to talk to you
Thank
and
you.
give my views on that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.